Clothing, staying warm, staying comfortable, and most importantly of all, looking good as you make your way down the 125 miles from Devizes to Westminster. I want to talk through some of the clothing choices that I've made in the past, starting with my feet through to my head, why I picked that kit and why I think it's great for performance and comfort. With regards to footwear, I've used two different types of footwear in the past. One of them was a pair of lightweight running shoes that I got about 2 or 3 sizes too small and took the inner soles out of them to squeeze my feet in. It meant I could feel the boat much better, but it had that protection when I was running on the portages. Generally the portage is good, but you don't want to risk breaking the toe or cutting your foot. You just want to get through those safely. Last year I used a lightweight shoe that had a rubber sole to it, a little bit like you get as a running track material, it seemed like, on the sole, and a sock-like material on the top. They didn't offer as much protection, but they would still work great, a little bit lighter as well. With regards to trousers and shorts, whatever works for you. I always wear leggings and then a pair of shorts over the top, whatever's most comfortable for you, but make sure it doesn't rub, most importantly. Speaking about rubbing and chafing, that can ruin your race. The last thing you want is to have to stop to do emergency treatment on yourself somewhere because you found out that you've rubbed your skin raw by not preparing properly from the start. So make sure you've got a handy tub of Vaseline at the start and put that on generously everywhere that's going to rub, over your shoulders, throughout your waist and in your nether regions, to ensure that you don't have any rubbing down there. I use something called Squirrel's Nut Butter. Great name, and yes, it is called that. I was recommended this from somebody else who'd used it, and I use it for my ultra running and for the Devizes to Westminster, and it works much better than Vaseline because it just doesn't dry out as fast. I've seen when I've used Vaseline in the past, you need to top it up at some point. With this, just put loads of it on at the start and you're going to be fine for that the whole race. I used it last year, no chafing at all. You're going to have enough aches and pains the next morning without having to worry about this side of things. Another tip, I use these handy nipple covers, nipple stickers. Yep, silly as they sound, but they are lifesavers. The last thing you want is anything rubbing around there. They rub red raw, then that's all you're going to think about. So make sure you stay protected, stay comfortable, and avoid chafing at all costs. Tops. These thermal tops I always use Icon ones now. I think these are brilliant. A guy called Mark Russell set up the company, and he's put a huge amount of research, spoken to athletes, changed the cut of these, changed the material of these so many times when he was starting up the company, to the point where he's got a product that's just brilliant. And they're nice and thin enough that you can just layer them on depending on how cold you're getting. I've used these for every race that I do now. I think these are brilliant. It's a great way of offering low rubbing protection. The inside is excellent with regards to that, no chafing. And as I say, you can layer them on in order to keep warm, as many layers as you need. Another thing you can choose is like a core. There's lots of different core tops. I've got this one from a company called Reed. They do a material called Chill Cheetah. Excellent material. And in fact, more famously is what I've worn is this CAG. I can't recommend this CAG highly enough. Again, it's by the company Reed, Chill Cheetah. You've used it for my 2 record-breaking runs down the DW, the Mix K2, and for the outright course record last year. And it's great. The collar on it, I don't know if you can see, it kind of material folds over on itself, so it doesn't have anything that rubs. It's nice and lightweight. It hangs fairly free. The bottom bit here, the waist, it doesn't pull in tight. I think there are adjustments thing. If you want to pull it in, you can, but I don't. I just leave it to hang, and it just is excellent. I put this on at Newbury, buoyant sailed off, CAG on. It just keeps you so warm. You're finding it hard to generate heat later on in the race. So to have something like this just keeps you so much warmer. When we got to the latter parts of the race as well, when you want a good spray deck, it's the same material. Icon do very similar. I think they use the same material. We've got these ones. It's a nice stretchy warm material and it's just brilliant. You'll have other companies that do similar stuff. I've always used that. We got some stuff sponsored to us on the Reed side of things before, but the reason I reached out to them is because I knew people from my club had done the DW before, and they said they used to struggle getting cold, and they had these Reed Chill Cheetah trousers, and they thought they were brilliant. So I reached out to the guy and asked him about what kit he had, and that's when they recommend those CAGs. So I cannot recommend those highly enough. And lastly, a hat. Hat's a hat at the end of the day. As long as you're comfortable, I wouldn't be too worried about what you use. Just have enough of them. Have spares as well, because if they get wet, it makes you feel so much nicer having dry ones of those to put on. And lastly, buoyancy aid. Buoyancy aid I go for is one by a company called Mocha. It's a South African one. It's the bright orange one, and it's brilliant. I've used other ones in the past, but this one for me works great. It looks to start with a little bit bulkier when you first put it on, but it's super lightweight and you don't notice it's there when you get going. But the most important thing, well, two most important things about it: one, it does feel lightweight, you feel very free, it's really cut away down the sides, so you've got full movement, no rubbing at all. But you've got two very handy pouches. If you want to take a hydration pack, it's got a pouch in the back, really easy to put in, take out, so you make your support crew life a lot easier. And secondly, the pouch on the front, the little kangaroo pouch on the front for putting all your snacks in, putting your whistle in there, because you need that as part of your emergency kit. You can have your energy gels or shot blocks for later on in the race, or cereal bars. Try and postpone those for when you get right to the last part of the race. But you can put cereal bars in there to get you down the pound, or stick them to the front of your boat. It's just so handy having those there, having the drinks pack on the back to make your DW life easier. Best of luck with your equipment, stay comfortable, make sure you avoid any chafing, and enjoy your training. Keep it up.